It was thrilling action watching Ko, Allen, Reese and Dobbs take on Thunderbird 3 from the Chaos Cruiser, and equally so with Thunderbird 2 going underwater as a means of fishing both Thunderbird 4 and the Zero-X escape pod out of the sea sludge. Now, although it's visually interesting and eye-catching to see Thunderbird 2 go through our own ocean galaxy on this planet, I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like I have to. It's one thing when Thunderbird 2 crashed into the ocean at the end of Long Haul after re-entering Earth's atmosphere and crashing into the ocean because it couldn't pull out quick enough in time and being raced to the surface. That was kind of, circumstances going against Virgil's control and his rescuee. But having Thunderbird 2 voluntarily go underwater, wouldn't that have, long-term damages being done to the ship? I know that I've been very constructively critical over the last 4 years for this show, but to see them pull this, again, from an action perspective, it's great. And, the idea that they would have to go down in order to get Scott out of that tight situation. But from an engineering and logic perspective, I don't know. I just feel like that is going to do more harm than good. I mean, yeah, the means justified the ends in being able to get the escape pod, but at the same time, I'm like, I have a question. Isn't this going to do a lot of damage long term? Just saying. Brains confirms a theory that I've had about how International Rescue would go about rescuing Jeff, and that is to construct a new Zero-X now that they know that Jeff is actually still alive in the Oort cloud somewhere out in the galaxy. Because the camera footage from the escape pod from Zero-X showed that it wasn't an explosion, it was an aftershock from the engines, because the engines were that powerful. And again, this just reaffirms what I've suspected since Signals Part 1. And by extension, SOS Part 2. The only way they would be able to get Jeff home is either retrofitting Thunderbird 3 with more powerful engines and the means not to burn through the fuel consumption, or they would get a new Zero-X to bring their father home. And I'm glad that I've been proven right on this occasion. I don't always get it right with the show, but on this one, I kind of looked at it right down the middle and just said, they're going to need something logical and plausible, because as powerful as Thunderbird 3 is, she is not the one to bring Jeff home, because Thunderbird 3 has limits with regards to that kind of deep space exploration. So, writing this week, aside from that jumping the shark moment of Thunderbird 2 going underwater, and like I said, from an animation and visual perspective, it looks great, but I have to be that guy and say, what? I don't understand why they couldn't have done from Season 1's Season 1 episode, which was an homage to the perils of Lady Penelope, and just have airlifting support to be able to get Thunderbird 4 and the escape pod to the surface. So, aside from that area of the writing was fine this week, but again, Thunderbird 2 underwater, that was not so FAB this week. And like I say, I love this show, But that particular thing, ooh, sorry guys. I gotta give you a thumbs down on that aspect. Everything else was fine. Everyone turns in a great performance, especially the regulars at the ending scene when it is revealed that Jeff is still alive. And Rasmus Hardiker gives a much more emotional performance as Scott Tracy. On a minor note, hearing the Hood say FAB was weird. It's one of those, like, out of character moments. It's just like, okay, we're doing this week. Okay. But yeah, voice acting, totally fine this week. The very image of seeing Thunderbird 2 go underwater under its own power, as opposed to what happened in Season 2's Long Haul when it crashed into the ocean, is a visual treat. The same can be said with the space animation for this episode, superb as always. The animators earned their paychecks and then some for this episode, and if this episode does not get nominated for an award, then there is something very wrong. So yeah, animation, 12 out of 10 this week, easily. The only special note for this week is seeing the return of the lunar base Alfie and Captain Taylor's moon buggy, which was first seen in Season 1's episode Relic. A definitive way to end this two-parter. It had some thrilling and intense moments, coupled with some unorthodox ideas with Thunderbird 2 going underwater. But at the same time, the mission objective was met. And as mentioned earlier, Brains confirmed a theory of mine in that the only way they would be able to bring Jeff Tracy home would be through the means of a new Zero X. Also, I like the way that the episode ended, with the camera panning up to the starry Milky Way as the score goes from optimistic to dark and daunting, knowing that the dangerous challenge that awaits the Tracy family in bringing their father, Jeff Tracy, home safely. Until next time, good night from the night, and Thunderbirds are go.